if you ask, like there's a couple kids, it was a few years ago, one of the dad says, Andy, I'm telling you right now, all he wants to do is shoot pucks. And I looked at him with my furry eyeball and I said, that's all he wants to do? Because that's, swear to God, that's all he wants to do. I said, so if you threw something at him like, hey, I'm not going to say his name, T is what it starts with. Hey, T, do you want to go to a movie tonight or do you want to shoot pucks? I'll put money on it that he wants to go to a movie.
Yeah.
Just this one time. So parents like put the importance on training like it's the kids, but it's actually most of the time it's not.
Yeah.
And if they were just shooting pucks and doing things on their own, it's probably better off for them anyway. But there's an extreme to this. I didn't know this has been probably my third year. Started training this kid. Third year that I started my business down here, and then he was a good player. He got drafted in the OHL to the Owen Sound Attack. And he was drafted at, I got to be careful. He was drafted mid-rounds. Very good pick. Really nice pick. So anyways, the dad, the year that he was getting drafted, he wanted to come to all my things. And he invited me over for dinner a couple of times and stuff. Oh, that's kind of nice because I was kind of new in the business. Didn't know a lot of people in this town. And yeah, I'll come over and I thought everything was good. Went over to the house, had dinner, or barbecue and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, as the years go on, his draft year, he's asking me questions about where he's getting drafted. Like this is early October, November. He goes, yeah, looks like he's a top 20 first round guy. So I was like, not like, no way. I said, oh yeah, where did you get that from? So he's like, no, I got this information from, whatever bullshit subscription thing. God.
Yeah.
It's bullshit, guys. If you pay to find out where your kid is rated, it's not true. Yeah. It could be true because they got the right information, but it's typically not true. If you pay for things, it's not true. Central Scouting is the only one that knows where your kids are ranked, and then that doesn't even matter because a team has to like your kid to pick them. So if you could be rated second overall, and if the team picking second doesn't like your type of player, needs something else, he's not getting drafted second, so it's irrelevant. Yeah. This is what drives me nuts because we're going through this with my son right now. I got a call from my brother-in-law the other day saying he's there was a top Ontario kid and your son's in it. Charlie's in it. I was just looking him up. I said, it doesn't mean anything. He goes, no, it does. I said, no. Then go down, subscribe for more. Yeah. Yeah. I said, it doesn't matter anyways because if he gets drafted first or if he gets drafted 300th, it doesn't matter. Yeah. He's got to be a player. Anyways, back to the dude telling me how high he's rated. And I said, listen, it's early in the season. There's a long season to go. Bear with it. He's a good player, but things can change. So he looked at me and goes, you don't believe my kid? I said, no, I didn't say that at all. I told you he's a good player, blah, blah, blah. So he kind of was like, offended. Yeah. Very offended. Yeah. I didn't understand why. So as the season goes, he's throwing a few questions. He said, I saw Sidney Crosby do this. Can you work on him with that? I'm like, that's not what he needs. This has nothing to do with it. Was a situation where it's a situation that Sidney reacted to, and he wanted to practice this. I'm like, wow. Anyways, draft comes. This boy gets drafted in the 5th round to Owen Sound. All right, that's a good pick. So 20 times 5 is 100. Top 100 player. 120 players in Ontario, North America. Mm. That's pretty good. So I get on the phone, which I do to all my kids that get drafted or scholarships or sign or whatever. I call and I said, the dad answers. So on the draft day, 5 minutes after the kid's drafted, who do you think I'm calling for when you see my name come up? The dad? I didn't want to talk to you. Like, seriously. Yeah. So the phone rings and he answers, hello. Like, down. So, hey, man, look, good to see X got drafted. Congratulations. He goes, yeah, sure. I'm like, what? I said, well, can I talk to Chris, please? Yeah. So, hey, bud, congratulations. He's like, thanks, coach. Like, yeah, I'm really happy. I said, you should be, man. This is awesome, blah, 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 blah. So anyways, got through that. The dad calls me the next day. He goes, can we me and my wife have a coffee with you? I said, yeah, sure. And I could sense the tone. Yeah, was like, what's weird. Going on, weird. Man? Yeah. I kind of knew what was, like, I know he was down about that because whatever. So we met at the coffee shop. We sat down, tears in his eyes. Wife's crying.
The dad, tears in his eyes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and wow. Fuming. And I'm like, what? he sat down. And they asked me what agent they needed in the beginning of the year, and I said, "You don't need an agent right now. You don't need one." And he said, "Yeah, but." And he compared a couple people. I said, "But if they're not coming to you, you don't need one." Right?
Yeah, you can go pay for one?
Yeah, well, you're gonna go get an agent. Anyways, that's another day. So, anyways, as we went through the story, they were mad at me. He said because they were paying me. This is what he said. He goes, "We paid you to get our son to the NHL." And I was like, "What?" Because that didn't even come across my mind. Yes, it comes across my mind that I'm good at what I do, and it comes across my mind that I take good players, and it comes across my mind that if a kid has XXX, that I can enhance certain things that could get him to the NHL. But I certainly would never throw out there that if you train with me, I will get you to the NHL. And that's what he threw on my plate.
Yeah.
So he invested money and time and kind of was my friend because he thought that I was going to get his son to the NHL.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm talking about, intent. That happens a heck of a lot more than it doesn't.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's the whole thing that we're kind of getting at here, right? With when you're a parent and when you're, whatever sport your kid or whatever activity your kid is in, it's what is the intention behind the thing that you're doing. So when you're talking about training, and there's a way to go about being, intelligent about how you're picking who you're going to train with and all this stuff, which I'm sure you'll touch on. But like, why are you doing the thing that you're doing? Like what is the benefit? What should be the benefit? Like if I'm a parent and I put my kid in hockey, the reason that I put my kid in hockey shouldn't be to go play in the NHL. That shouldn't be like objective number one, right? And the reason it shouldn't be is because it's almost certainly not going to happen. Just statistically, not likely, right? Yeah. And kind of
like putting your kid in political science because you think he's going to be the president of the United States.
Oh, like
then he should.
Yeah, literally.
Just go do it now.
Yeah,
there's a couple of trainers there.
Exactly, right? And so, you get into this mode where you think, okay, if I do this, the kid's gonna go to the NHL, and it's like that's not why you put your kid in sports. That's not why you put your kid in hockey. You put him in like we touched on before because there's all of these other things that they can learn, right? And that should be your intention. And just like speaking for me personally, that is exactly what happened to me out of hockey. I learned all of these skills from being in this really tough competitive environment that made me ready to move on to something else and excel because I was paying attention. And like parents, they're not telling their kids this. Like you have to tell your kid that they can learn all of these lessons if they just pay attention, right? And you're pointing out these things that are valuable about playing hockey. That should be the intention. It shouldn't be, well, go train with Coach Andy because he trains a lot of good players and the likelihood that you go to the NHL is higher because you trained with Coach Andy. Yeah. It's like, what are you talking about?